I often hear skeptics claim that belief in God, or to think that there's a creator that brought the universe and life into existence, is a science showstopper. But is that really so? I'm joined today by Dr. Nicholas Leadbeater, who is a chemist and a Christian, to help answer that question. Nicholas, what would you say to somebody that says Christianity is a science showstopper?
I think back to the early days of science and the likes of Newton and Galileo. For them, it was their faith drove their science. I believe the same can be true today. It's really a difference in worldview rather than a difference between science and faith that I think people are getting caught up on today. If we look at modern scientists, some will say that science has superseded faith and that there's no need for a creator. And anybody who believes that there is academically inferior. I don't believe that to be the case. I believe that our science can be driven by our faith. And the more that we discover, the more in awe we are of our creator.
Now, it seems to me that, as you mentioned, worldview differences, that maybe in a Christian framework you might ask different scientific questions than somebody might ask from an atheistic framework. But it doesn't mean to me that a particular worldview necessarily shuts down science. How would you react to that statement, that comment?
Yeah, I suppose in some regards Christians are coming at their science from a slightly different angle. And some of the questions that they're asking, or some of the sort of driving forces behind what they're doing are different.
It's interesting because, I would even assert that an atheistic worldview can actually get in the way of science.
Absolutely, yes.
I'm an example that is in my area of expertise would be so-called junk DNA. It was not that long ago where people thought that most of the human genome consisted of non-functional DNA. And it turns out that what we thought to be non-functional actually has important and critical function for the human organism. And what prevented people from seeing that function was essentially an atheistic approach to the human genome.
Right, and the same is true in other disciplines, including chemistry. I think that coming to the table for me as a Christian, with an open mind and just wanting to explore the subject and by so doing sort of discover more about my creator, I think that I can come very openly to some of the scientific things that an atheist would perhaps shut the door to, perhaps because they'd be even a little concerned of what they might discover.